Hey guys, episode 6 of Obscure Toy Lines. Well, sort of obscure. Actually, now that I think about it, not even all the toys are from the 1980s anymore. But let's not let the title or semantics ruin the episode. Transformers Power Cycle Coleco 1984. Straight from Transformers Wiki, Power Cycle is a mystery wrapped in an enigma, hidden deep in a puzzle. His motivations and personality are never clear to those around him, and some speculate he could even be the prototype of a Power Master Transformer. He's never seen without his human companion to unlock his transformation and help provide locomotion. The 1985 Power Cycle, stylish, loaded for battle, and best of all, well stickered. I'd like to say that every kid in the 80s had one of these power pedal cycles. They came out in a variety of different themes: GoBots, Rambo, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, and there was obviously some for girls as well. Stepping into the 90s from Galoob 1992, Z-Bots by Micro Machines. Z-Bots were a recommendation on one of the last videos made by Galoob from 1992 to 94. They came in the classic Z-Bots, the good guys, and the Voids, the villains. The backstory is Z-Bots were originally created in 1939 by a group of scientists to protect the world from evil. Fast forward 60 years later, and other evil scientists stole the technology and built rival machines. And nowhere near obscure, but we gotta mention them. We gotta go through all of them eventually, right? Micro Machines by Galoob, 1987. And they were actually revived in 2015. Now for Micro Machines, I'm not doing any Googling or research. This is right from my childhood. This was all elementary school. We used to trade Micro Machines all the time. We had the Batman ones, the Army ones, there was military, police, all kinds of different television and movie themed Micro Machines, little gas stations and bases. You had the awesome commercials with the super fast talking Micro Machine Man. That's my best impersonation of him. Micro Machines were just really great. The carrying case is color changing. There were so many aspects to this toy line, I'm not surprised they got revived. Another from the 90s, Terminator II by Kenner, 1992. Now there were a few toy lines for Terminator 2, so I'm just looking at the Kenner one. Based on the Terminator 2 movie, there was two series, Terminator 2 and then Future Wars. Most of the toys, if not all, were just different variations of John Connor, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, the skinless T-800, and the T-1000. Blow-apart action, missiles, some of them even had squirt guns. This was a really fun toy line, and I'm not sure if they were the same toy line or they just came out with Terminator 2, but I also had and really liked the BioFlesh Regenerator. Never worked as good as the commercials. I always had big air pockets in mine, but basically, you know, it represented the skin, and you could tear off, make it battle damage. Really fun. Robotech by Matchbox, 1985, and the second series in 1992. So you know Robotech, they find an alien spaceship that crashed in the South Pacific, and they advanced their technology making these mech suits. When I was a kid, I only remember having the toys, like the little 6-inch figures. You know, their arms and legs would bend, but not their knees and their elbows. Watching this commercial now, I'm like, why did I not have any of the Robotech, the suits, the mechs? These things look amazing. Street Fighter II, Hasbro, 1993. So if you take one of the best boys toy lines ever and one of the best fighting games and you put them together, you get these Street Fighter II G.I. Joe styled figures. So the way the story goes, Street Fighter was on top of the world in the early 90s, and G.I. Joe was starting to wane in popularity again. So Capcom and Hasbro teamed up to make these Street Fighter figures. Now, the body shapes were set to G.I. Joe, so Chun-Li looked bad, Ken wasn't dressed right, people weren't exactly super happy about this, it didn't do too well. The next year, 94, the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter came out, and a new toy line and figures, vehicles came out for them. They looked a little better, and I think they also sold a little better, but I remember having these guys, and surprisingly, they're still making them around G.I. Joe size, because I have a couple of Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 figures. So after the G.I. Joe run, after the Van Damme movie figures, they went with the Hall of Fame edition, and these were actually the best-selling toys in the Street Fighter II series at that time. They were 12 inches high, you know, kind of Barbie-looking-ish, but they had the right proportions, and for the most part, they looked the closest to the game. And that's going to do it for another 5 or 6 kind of obscure toy lines. So down in the comments, guys, recommend a toy line that we haven't done yet, something that you may really like. It doesn't matter what decade it's from, don't get too hung up on the title. As long as it's a toy line that you really liked when you were a kid, you know, share it and we'll try and get to it eventually. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good one.